This young kid never takes off his headphones, even when he is driving the most dangerous bank robbers in the country. To block out a constant, agonizing ringing in his ears, he must sync every high-speed escape to the exact beat of his music. But when a ruthless crime lord refuses to let him go, he is forced to make a choice between the girl of his dreams and his own survival. Years ago, a horrific car crash took the lives of young baby's parents right before his eyes and left him with permanent ear damage. To cope with the constant hum of tinnitus in his ears, he listens to music on various classic iPods all day long, letting the rhythm guide his every movement. One day, Baby makes the mistake of stealing a luxury car belonging to Doc, a powerful and highly calculating crime boss. To pay off his massive debt, Baby is forced to act as Doc's personal getaway driver for a series of high-stakes bank heists, with each crew custom-designed by Doc himself. For his next job, Doc puts together a team consisting of the cynical veteran Griff and a wildly affectionate, gun-toting couple named Buddy and Darling. While parked outside the Target Bank, Baby sits behind the wheel of a bright red Subaru, lip-syncing and drumming on the steering wheel to the beat of his music, completely detached from the danger. Griff mocks Baby for his silence and his constant headphone use, questioning if the kid is mentally fit to drive. However, the moment the bank's alarm blares and the three robbers sprint back to the car with bags of cash, Baby proves his worth. He slams the gas, perfectly timing his driving to the tempo of the song. As police cruisers swarm the alley, Baby executes a flawless J-turn, weaving through dense Atlanta traffic at breakneck speeds. He performs a series of impossible drifts, utilizes a narrow alleyway to dodge a spike strip, and pulls off a brilliant decoy swap on the crowded highway by driving alongside two identical red sedans, completely confusing a police helicopter overhead. He parks the dusty car in a prearranged parking garage, and the crew smoothly transitions into a boring gray sedan, leaving the police searching in vain. Back at Doc's secret warehouse, the crew drops off the bags of money to be counted. Griff remains hostile, warning Baby that eventually his luck will run out and he will get caught. But Baby remains completely quiet, only communicating with a slight nod. After receiving his cut of the money, which Doc immediately takes most of to deduct from his debt, Baby returns home to his modest apartment. Here, he cares for his deaf and wheelchair-bound foster father, Joseph, who is his only real family. The two share a deep bond, communicating entirely through sign language. At night, Baby retreats to his room, where he uses an old cassette recorder and analog equipment to mix conversations he secretly records during the crew's briefings into catchy, rhythmic music tracks, cataloging them in shoeboxes. The next day, Baby walks down the street to get coffee, his entire stride perfectly choreographed to the upbeat music playing in his ears. He enters a local diner and meets a sweet, charming waitress named Deborah, who is singing his mother's favorite song. The two instantly hit it off, bonding over their shared escape in music and their names, joking about how almost every great song seems to be about a girl named Deborah or a kid named Baby. They share a quiet moment, dreaming of hitting the open road in a car they can't afford, driving west with no destination in mind, leaving all their troubles behind. Soon after, Doc calls Baby back to the warehouse for another heist with a brand new crew. This time, he is paired with the unhinged, heavily tattooed, and highly paranoid Bats, alongside the returning couple, Buddy and Darling. During their meeting, Bats grows intensely suspicious of Baby's quiet demeanor and his refusal to remove his earbuds, believing the kid might be a cop or a wire-wearing informant. Bats gets right in Baby's face, aggressively demanding he explain what is playing on his playlist. To everyone's surprise, Baby calmly removes one earbud and repeats Doc's entire, complex robbery plan word for word, proving he was paying attention to every detail while matching the rhythm of his music. This second heist targets an armored car, but things quickly go wrong. A heavily armed bystander tries to play hero, prompting a chaotic shootout in the middle of the street. Bats relentlessly fires his weapon, killing the guard, while JD, another crew member, panics and drops a bag of money. Baby has to think fast as a civilian pickup truck pursues them in a blind rage. Baby maneuvers their getaway truck through narrow side streets, dodging incoming traffic and scraping against brick walls to shake the pursuer. Although they make it back to the safe house, JD is left behind because he lost his disguise. Bats remains completely unfazed by the violence, while Baby is left visibly shaken, forced to clean the blood off the windshield of the stolen vehicle. With the completion of this final job, Doc announces that Baby has successfully paid off his debt in full. Relieved and ecstatic, Baby throws away his heist gear and starts working a regular, honest job as a pizza delivery boy. He takes Deborah out on a romantic date to a high-end restaurant, promising her a better, peaceful life where they can finally plan their road trip. However, their dream is shattered when Doc unexpectedly appears at their table. Doc cold-bloodedly threatens to destroy everything Baby holds dear, including Joseph and Deborah, if Baby doesn't agree to drive one last major heist targeting a United States post office. Doc makes it clear that once you are in his circle, you never truly leave. Fearing for the lives of his loved ones, Baby has no choice but to agree to the terms. Doc's newly assembled crew consists of the psychotic Bats and the inseparable Buddy and Darling. The group's first task is to purchase heavy, military-grade weapons from an arms dealer known as the Butcher in a desolate warehouse. During the transaction, the paranoid Bats spots a police officer's badge on one of the guards and assumes it is a setup. He immediately opens fire, triggering a massive, deafening shootout that kills the Butcher and all of his men. A terrified Baby can only watch in absolute horror from the driver's seat as the bloody crew grabs the crates of weapons and flees the scene. On the drive back to the hideout, Bats complains of hunger and insists they stop at the very diner where Deborah works. Baby's heart sinks into his chest as they walk inside. Bats and Buddy begin teasing Deborah, and Bat's sharp eyes quickly notice the undeniable romantic tension and panic between Baby and the young waitress. Baby manages to keep his cool, subtly sliding his hand over to cover hers and preventing Bats from escalating his violent tendencies. That night, knowing the post office heist will be a bloodbath, Baby attempts to sneak out of his apartment with Joseph and a bag of cash to escape the city. However, Buddy and Bats are already waiting for him in the dark hallway. They discover his cassette tapes and assume he is an undercover informant recording their criminal activities. Baby quickly explains that they are just harmless music mixes and plays a tape of a rhythmic vocal remix to prove his innocence. Though they spare his life, they confiscate his iPod, leaving him disoriented, anxious, and stripped of his security blanket. The next morning, the heavy tension in the air is palpable as the crew arrives at the post office. Left alone in the getaway car, Baby spots a friendly elderly postal employee he had met the previous day. Desperate to save her, he frantically shakes his head and signals her to walk away from the building, an action that Bats catches from the corner of his eye. As the crew runs back to the car, Bats viciously attacks an armed security guard, killing him. Something inside Baby finally snaps. Refusing to be an accomplice to any more murder, he locks eyes with Bats and refuses to drive. When Bats violently threatens him, Baby slams the gas pedal, steering the vehicle directly into the back of a parked flatbed truck loaded with metal pipes. The impact impales Bats through the windshield, killing him instantly. With their vehicle completely wrecked, the remaining crew is forced to run on foot as the police close in. Buddy and Darling engage in a wild, desperate shootout with the authorities in the middle of a parking lot. During the heavy crossfire, Darling is shot and killed by the police. A devastated, grief-stricken Buddy locks eyes with Baby, blaming the young driver entirely for her death, and promises to hunt him down. Baby flees on foot, performing incredible parkour through alleys, rooftops, and a crowded department store to escape both the police and Buddy's gunfire. After carjacking a vehicle from a woman, Baby rushes back to his apartment, safely relocates Joseph to a quiet retirement home, and heads straight to the diner to rescue Deborah. But when Baby arrives at the diner, the jukebox is playing a haunting rock song, and Buddy is already sitting at the counter with a gun hidden beneath a newspaper. Buddy plays Brighton Rock, explaining that it is his and Darling's favorite song, and promises to kill Baby the moment the song ends. A tense standoff ensues, but Baby manages to distract Buddy, shooting him in the leg before grabbing Deborah and escaping into the night. With nowhere else to turn, the couple heads straight to Doc's secret garage to ask for help and fake identification. Doc is initially furious and refuses to assist a fugitive who ruined his heist. But when he looks at Deborah and sees the absolute, fierce devotion the young couple has for each other, his hardened heart softens. Recalling his own past love, Doc agrees to help. He gives them a bag of cash and directs them toward a safe route out of the state. Just as they are about to leave, police cruisers and a vengeful Buddy, who has stolen a police car, arrive at the scene. Doc sacrifices his own life to buy the young couple time, exchanging gunfire with the police before a ruthless Buddy runs him over with the police cruiser. A high-stakes, claustrophobic chase begins inside a dark, multi-level parking garage. Buddy corners the couple's car, using his high beams to blind them and blasting rock music from his stolen cruiser to mimic the painful ringing in Baby's ears. Buddy corners Baby and fires his gun right next to both of Baby's ears, bursting his eardrums and leaving him temporarily deafened and bleeding. Despite the agonizing pain, Baby works together with Deborah. Deborah blinds Buddy with a tire iron and hits him with a heavy crowbar, while Baby manages to shoot Buddy in both legs, causing him to lose his balance and fall backward over the edge of the parking level to his death on top of a burning car below. Finally free of their pursuers, Baby and Deborah hit the open road as the sun begins to rise, leaving the burning city behind. However, their long-awaited freedom is cut short when they round a bend and run into a massive, heavily armed police blockade blocking the entire bridge. Deborah frantically tries to put the car in reverse, but Baby gently grabs her hand and takes the wheel, bringing the car to a smooth stop. Realizing he doesn't want her to spend the rest of her life as a hunted fugitive, Baby decides to protect her. He throws his car keys out of the window, kisses her goodbye, puts his hands up, and surrenders to the heavily armed officers. At his high-profile trial, several people Baby had helped during his career, including the kind postal worker, the woman whose car he had stolen, and others, testify about his good heart, his remorse, and how he actively tried to save lives during the chaotic heists. Their moving testimonies save him from a life sentence, and he is sentenced to 25 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after serving just 5. During his time behind bars, Baby receives loving letters from Deborah, keeping his spirits high as he counts down the days. 5 years later, the heavy iron prison gates slowly slide open, and Baby finally steps out into the warm sunlight, his hearing recovered and the ringing in his ears finally quiet. Waiting for him in a classic convertible is Deborah, smiling warmly. She starts the engine, and the two drive off together into the countryside, ready to start their new life on the open road, completely free from the noise of the past. Would you have risked your life to save your loved ones, or would you have run away with the money? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.